What is up, y'all? Dylan back here. I'm just walking around here outside, and so we all saw the news, so I decided to do my thoughts on this particular topic. Alright, so the big news today is the Baltimore Ravens have put the non exclusive franchise tag on Lamar Jackson. And so having said that, it was then reported by multiple insiders that the Falcons are not planning on pursuing Lamar Jackson. Most likely because of the contract that he would want. Now, for those of you who do not know what the exclusive franchise tag is, when a team puts the non-exclusive franchise tag on a player, that means that particular player can then negotiate a contract with other teams. And whatever team offers that player whatever contract that player gets from another team, then, like, for example, Lamar Jackson, say if Lamar Jackson was negotiating with the Falcons and the Falcons made him an offer. Well, if the Falcons want to make him an offer, then the Ravens would have to match that offer. And so if they were to decline to match that offer, then the Falcons would get Lamar Jackson. But for compensation, the Ravens would get 2 first-round draft picks. And so, like I said, say if the Falcons offered Lamar Jackson a contract and that contract was accepted and Lamar Jackson went to the Falcons, that would mean that um, the Ravens would get the Falcons' first-round draft pick this year and next, they would get next year's first-round draft pick. And so, just in case any of y'all don't know that. So, with that being said, it has been reported that the Falcons will not pursue Lamar Jackson. And in my honest opinion, to me, that is the right decision to make. Look, I would love to have Lamar Jackson on the Falcons. Would have loved it. But the problem is the Falcons would have to give him the Falcons would most likely have to give him the kind of contract that the Cleveland Browns gave Deshaun Watson last year. And we all know how the Falcons ended up looking in that situation. I'm not going to get into that again. So and so so after seeing what it was probably going to take to get Lamar Jackson, I would imagine Terry Fontenot probably probably decided not decided not to pursue him. You know, after going through what the Falcons went through last year with Deshaun Watson, Terry Fontenot probably thought that he didn't want to go through that again. And not to mention, the Falcons just got out of cap hell. And the kind of contract that they would have had to give him, um, I mean, let's face it, the kind of contract that Lamar Jackson wants, and the contract and guaranteed money that the Falcons would have to give him, I mean, let's be honest. That would put the Falcons right back in cap hell. So, what the Falcons are most likely going to do is, like I said, use that salary cap, use all that salary cap they got to build the whole roster. Because let's face it, now if the Falcons if the Falcons, let's say, were just a quarterback away from contending for a Super Bowl, okay, I'd be all for it. But let's face it, the Falcons roster is not one quarterback away. It's just not. I mean, the whole roster, look, the whole roster needs talent everywhere. And so, what what I think the Falcons are going to do is they're going to build the defense through free agency because there is some good elite defensive players who are free agents. One who comes to mind, and honestly, I'll be kind of surprised if the Falcons don't get him, is safety Jesse Bates from the Cincinnati Bengals. He's already been linked to the Falcons. And so I do think the Falcons will pursue him next week when free agency starts. Let's see. The Falcons did decide not to franchise tag offensive tackle Caleb McGarry today, so they're going to let him test free agency, which I'm not surprised. Now the Falcons could still bring him back on another deal. We'll see what happens there. But here's what to me, there's two likely things that's going to happen. The Falcons are going to roll with Desmond Ridder at quarterback and then sign a veteran quarterback in free agency to back up and compete with Desmond Ridder. Or the Falcons will take their chance with a quarterback in this year's NFL draft. Now whether they trade up for Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud remains to be seen. But they could also take a chance with Anthony Richardson from Florida, or God forbid, Will Levis from Kentucky, which I do not want Will Levis. I always thought I thought he was overrated in college, and I never understood the hype for Will Levis. Now, if you get Anthony Richardson from Florida, I could very well see the Falcons having him be the backup to Desmond Ridder, and then have a quarterback competition next year between Richardson and Ridder. But that's what I see happening. So, anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. I just wanted to get this video out and give my thoughts on the Lamar Jackson situation and what the Falcons might do going forward. So, please subscribe. Please like this video. Hit that notification bell. Subscribe to the channel. And share this video and my channel on your social media outlets. And I will see you in the next one.